subject Irrigation Engineering, chapter Soil Water Constants, topic numerical number 2 on saturation capacity, field capacity and permanent wilting point. So now students, it's time to solve another numerical on the same topic that we have discussed. The question is, a particular crop uses 3 mm per day. So this is the consumptive use. So what is consumptive use? I will be explaining, but for the time being you can just remember that the maximum water content, you can say that the water content used by crops for its maximum growth. What's maximum growth is known as the consumptive use, right? Okay. If the depth of available moisture is 30 mm depth of moisture is given to you, the frequency of irrigation will be how much days, right? So take readily available moisture as 80%, right? So I told you when I drew this graph, so whenever the water content it just reaches the readily available moisture, what we do is that we irrigate the area, if you remember. And this time period is known as the frequency of irrigation. Well, how many days, how many hours or whatever, right? Okay. So it's a very straightforward question. So first of all, we have to calculate the readily available moisture, right? So readily available moisture is 80%. It means that 80% of the available moisture, right? So available moisture is 30 mm. So 80% of 30 mm will be equal to, this will be equal to 24 mm. So 24 mm is the readily available moisture. So means that whenever the water depth, the moisture content depth reaches 24 mm, we have to irrigate the land. Okay. And what is the use? So use is 3 mm per day. So it is using 3 mm per day, right? And you have to calculate up to after how many days it reaches 24, you can say 24 mm, right? So you can say that 3 mm per day into x number of days gives you 24 mm. So x will be equal to 24 divided by 3, that is 8 days. So 8 days is the correct answer. The answer will be 8 days, right? Even if you don't know how to solve these types of numericals, I told you compare the units, get the answer, right? So what is the unit? So unit is 3 mm per day. It means that if you divide 24 mm by 3 mm per day, so mm got cancel out and day will go to the numerator. So you will be getting 8 days at the correct answer. Clear? So 8 is the correct answer. Okay. So I hope that you have understood this numerical also. Now let's move forward and understand the field capacity, permanent wilting point. We also have a few, you can say, few derivations on the base of field capacity, permanent wilting point. We also have a term optimal moisture content, right? That is known as the available moisture content. Okay. So we have a few expressions on the base of depth. We have that if the depth, for example, here it was given that the depth of the available moisture 30 mm. So we have some expressions of field capacity, permanent wilting point on the basis of the weight density, right, as well as the depth. So what are those expressions, how the expressions have been derived? So in the next lecture I will be explaining you that, and that is very important. Okay, so let's move forward. Thank you.